questions that you're going to ask. Well, maybe I'm going to ask.
Yeah, it's because it's important. If you're talking about spending your life with this person, it's definitely important.
Yeah, that's amongst the okay, is there anything do I need to know about? Am I going to find you on like Pornhub, for that thing you did in college? Is your credit screwed up? All little things like that
So
that might be pertinent to our future.
Exactly. And in the event they say, yes, my credit is slightly jacked up, it's early enough where it can be fixed and it won't have a major impact on the relationship.
Yes. I was in a situation years ago where I had met a young lady. We started a relationship. She didn't have really any credit. Mm-hmm. So I helped her establish it. I got, credit cards. When I had one, I got her one, put in her name, and it built her credit up, and so she's doing fantastic now. Mm-hmm. But, that's things you need to do if you have plans for a long-term situation.
And I agree with us. Like, my husband had A1 credit when I met him. Mine was a little shaky, but he did the same thing you did. He got a couple of credit cards and added me as a co-applicant, and that's how I rebuilt my credit. So
that's a good man there.
Yeah, but not everybody would do that. Hercules. But I think that's an interesting conversation that people should be having. But honestly, I don't think a lot of people are having these discussions. I think that they're going into the relationship with the hopes that the other person don't ask, how's your credit?
It's going to come out when you try to go
if you go
buy
to
that car.
Exactly, and you come back, I need a co-signer. What the hell's going on with your credit? You told me you had good credit.
If you go over to her apartment and you see Rent Center taking all her shit.
Exactly.
What's going on, babe?
Right.
After the couch.
We have to talk about it. I think that the things that we don't talk about are often more detrimental to the relationship somewhere along the line. You get into a relationship and you say, okay, I filed bankruptcy. But you're saying you filed bankruptcy years ago. When we go to apply for something, the bankruptcy is fresh.
Yes.
That's a goddamn problem.
Don't let it be when you get married and you start seeing hits on your account. Like, whoa.
Exactly. Like, what's going on here? And I know, sometimes people go through divorce or different things. People that have student loans. So those are things that impact your credit, but disclose that.
Yes.
We live in a time where you meet somebody, it's nothing for you to pull their credit report because that's the kind of time that we're living in, and it's protecting yourself.
I think that's important.
Yeah, it's very important. I don't want to be blindsided. That's like a deal breaker for me. It's like, what?
So
your credit score is in the 300s. What the hell is going on here?
I thought it was like an SAT. They give you like 400 for signing your name.
Okay, and if it's like that, what are you doing to repair it? It's one thing for it to be like that, but if you just going by the seat of your pants, like, oh, I pay cash for everything. Okay, that's fine, but credit is a factor.
Drug dealers, yes.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And credit is important. I mean, if you're going to be with someone, not to say that they have to be 100% financially fit, but they have to be working towards it. You have to see something, not just that 300 credit score and, oh, I'm okay with that. You don't like it?
If they're always asking, can I get a couple of dollars for gas for the Benz?
Or
you might want to question.
Can you rent me a car?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, because I know some folk like that. Can you rent me a car? Why can't you rent your own car?
Oh, because the bank messed up my account, and all of them.
Right, exactly. I mean, damn, something's wrong.
Like,
something's absolutely wrong.
Bill in your name, and I'll just give you the money for it.
Or I see this a lot with the younger people. Why are there so many people driving without a license?
Oh, you need one of those?
I'm just saying, it's like,
drive.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people, especially guys. What the hell is going on with that?
Because they don't think about getting arrested when you're pulled over.
That, like, blows my mind. I'm like, and the interesting thing about that is, it's not technically against the law to drive without a license because you can purchase a car without a license. And do you know that for fact? Because I know in a lot of states it is not against the law, and I think that a lot of cops don't know that.
Oh, in this state.
Mm-hmm.
And see, these roads are federal.
Okay.
So you can buy as many cars as you want, but once you put them on the road, you must have a license.
Okay. I saw some. I had to look that up, Mark, because I think that it's a fine line with that.
Yeah, trust me, it must be insured.
Yeah, I know that. I do know that, yeah.
Roads are federally owned.
Okay.
So they're like, no, they're not allowing you to drive on them without a license.
But now that, and I'm going to say that doesn't make sense. Because for the simple fact that you can pull off a lot with a car and not have a license. And that I know to be fact.
You can. That's not
right, but what I'm saying is it seems like the dealership should have some responsibility too.
No more than the bartender has a responsibility on that drink if you go home and start a fight. You know what I mean? Right, they can sell you whatever. Now, what you do with it is entirely up to you.
That's true, but it's kind of like the lines are blurred where that's concerned, because I think that you shouldn't be able to purchase a car without.
I mean, it might not be for you. It might be for someone else.
Well, if it's your grandmother who, no longer has a license and she's a co-signer, but I'm talking about people that I know have gone to a dealership, purchased cars with no license.
Was it a dealership or was it a car
Well, no,
lot?
let me just say it wasn't a dealership, so let me take that back. It was one of those side car lots.
They'll sell you a bottle of
right, too. Right, and it does seem like that should be against the law.
Hey,
but I ain't knocking nobody's hustle. I'm going to say that.
You're supposed to have an ID and some type of insurance.
Right, exactly.
Now, they have to give you tags and everything.
Because you can get insurance with no license.
You can.
Yeah.
Because, again, you can insure any property. You don't have to have a license to have a TV.
But here's my take on that. First of all, my ass ain't going to the dealership with no damn license. That's just me. And if you're doing it, aren't you doing it ass backwards? Why not get the license first? Or is it a case where, because I know a couple of people that have issues with child support and may not be able to get
that might be a case.
Their license.
They might have a load of tickets.
A load of tickets. That's another thing.
Down in Virginia going to school.
Right. Yeah, so I think
if there's a question, an issue of something, there's a red flag that you need to recognize. There's a flag on the play.
Absolutely.
I might be breaking a man law here, but if your man keeps asking, babe, can I use your car? I'll drop you off at work. I got some running around to do. You need to check his credit.
You need to check his credit, for one. And if he picks you up and he's always late, that's a goddamn problem. How you going to be late in my shit? You understand what I'm saying?
And then
that is a no-no.
And there's no gas in there.
And there's no gas in it. Or he put about $5-10 worth of gas
and ran 20.
And he burned that shit up by the time he get to you. He got to go. Yeah, he got to go. Ladies, don't be no fool. If his credit ain't right and he ain't trying to do anything to get that credit right, kick his ass to the curb.
Yeah,
because nothing's going to change. Because you keep allowing it.
This is true. And it happens all the time.
It happens every time. And you have to start holding these men accountable. And I'm not going to just pick on the men, because there are some trifling ass women out here too. If you have your BG&E bill in your daughter's name or your granddaughter's name, your ass is fucking trifling. And you should be locked up for that shit.
Yeah, if you went out right after taxes and bought yourself a 20-year-old BMW And
Yeah.
and you can't get it out the shop right now because you spent all your money. And you tell, I got a car, it's just not here.
It's
right
just
now.
not here right now because I got to finish paying for the repair.
That's a warning sign.
That's definitely a warning sign. I think
if your tags are temp tags for 6-7 months,
that's
a
you
warning.
got some problems. These are things you should be looking out for, ladies.
Did we step on some people's toes?
I think so. First
yeah.
of all, the utility bill in a child's name, man, that fucking pisses me off.
That's trifling as hell.
That's trifling as hell. So you're going to fuck the child before they get grown by ruining their credit. Now, I saw a case like this last year on, I think, Judge Mathis, where the child sued the parents. And they have a right to sue because that's credit fraud.
They can't get an apartment.
They can't get anything because, right, you've ruined their credit. And I think that makes you a trifling individual if you're doing stuff like that. You're dooming your child before they can even get started. Come on now.
How about, let me tell you something crazy. I got a buddy of mine had to go downtown for child support.
Mm-hmm.
He has the same name as his father. Child support. And now he's 42 years old, and he had child support coming out of his check for him.
What?
Yes. For him.
Hold on.
At 42 years old.
But now here's the thing, because everybody that has dealt with child support know they can be a little shady. I mean, let's say what it is.
I mean, his dad, because they had the same name. Mm-hmm. They taxed him for what they were supposed to be taxing his father.
The dad, yeah.
And again, he's 40 years old plus and had child support coming out of his check for him.
Now, my dad, this is so funny. They were like tearing his check up on grown kids.